Welcome on back. Today we got a 2014 Chrysler 300 doing the infamous Pentastar oil filter adapter, oil cooler, whatever. If y'all can see, there's some standing oil down there. My first time ever doing one, so let's knock it out. I got the intake off of it, intake and the beauty cover. This is a new part. I was kind of shocked at how cheap it is, but I guess when you make stuff out of junk plastic, it can be pretty cheap. And probably, I don't know, maybe get a month out of it and probably be doing it again. Seems to be the way it goes. Sorry for the wind noise. It is a little windy out here, but that's what I got to work with, so let's get started. Be right back with you. All right, next update. So intake is off. 1, 2, 3, one down here, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are the only bolts that actually hold this thing on. However, you've got stud over here, stud over here. This is on the driver's side, which hook into these little tabs. Then there's this bracket right here, that bolt hole. There's two that hook these two little studs sticking out. So you can't take this thing straight off. I had to remove this bolt, which holds this bracket to the back side of the head. It was easier than trying to get those two off. You got some AC line in the way. So it took that stud out, and then the whole manifold's able to kind of slide out to the passenger side. So next step is keep on digging. I'll check in with you in a moment. Okay, so here's the update. Coils out on this particular job. I'm doing the spark plugs as well. Unplugged all the fuel injectors. Things are held in with these little clips right here. I've got a little like a trim tool fork. You can pop right underneath that head there and just wiggle them back and forth. They'll pretty much come right out. Once you do that, that affords you access, pretty clean access actually, to all the intake manifold bolts here, which look to be 8mm. Quite a few of them all around. I'm also going to take a blowgun, try to blow all the crap out at the base of this intake manifold. It's pretty dirty. Job isn't really the quickest thing you could ever do, but if you have to pull the plumb on these damn 3.6s, I'd definitely go ahead and do the plugs while you're in there, because it's kind of a pain in the ass so far. I'll check back. All right, checking in. Intake pried up, held back, ratchet strap. Got bar support in the hood. Hood struts might be a little weak on this thing. Either way, they shouldn't really be supporting any more weight than they have to. And here's the culprit down here. It's like a couple electrical connectors, coolant hose, yay. That'll be fun getting off. Probably spray some carb cleaner or something in these intake ports. These things are pretty nasty looking. Oh well, I'll check back. Word of caution. The hold down bolts for this oil cooler are these stupid or inverted Torx bolts. So that means probably a trip to Harbor Freight, yay me. Zap these plugs out and get that part done. I'll be back probably when I get back from Hobo Freight. So here to remove the old oil housing, like $30-$40 later for a whole set of Icon E sockets. The size is an E8, it looks like. Just anybody else has to do this, hopefully you can only buy one socket, or you only have to buy one socket. So coolant has already been drained. Let's start busting this thing off. Attack this one at a lower altitude. Well, the POS is loose. I'm probably gonna need 2 hands for these connectors, so I'll be back. So here we are, old housing. You gotta get these 2 sensors out, swap them over to the new. They say the new one comes with the oil filter element in it. I'll have to pull that out, double check. Kind of be cool if they'd put these, put new sensors in the damn thing. But anyway, oil filter, pressure switch, that would be coolant down there. This is a special socket. It's a size is 1 1/16. But as you can see, this socket I have is kind of round. This is especially for oil pressure switches. Work this one out. That will go over to the new one. Let's get that started. And I got the old adjustable wrench size here. Shock this up here. So the old adjustable wrench size isn't good on the temp sensor. It's a 19 millimeter. I have a deep well here that I normally use for lug nuts for a Chrysler. I guess that's not an oil or a coolant temp. That's something to do with oil. Huh. Okay. The oil temp, I guess. So yeah, that thing was tight. I'll give it that. Just started in here. And this old one will go right where it belongs, in a trash heap. Freaking junk. All right, let me get these all tightened up. I'll be back with you. Unbelievable. So you buy this kit, and again, and this is a 2014. This O-ring has to be replaced on a brand new freaking housing. I mean, yeah, go buy factory parts and they can't even make them right. Lube these O-rings up a little bit and put this thing back on. All right, new housing is on. What's that supposed to be like? So, a type of hose clamp like this with the cable end on it. The way I did this by pulling the lower intake manifold up, not disconnecting fuel rail and taking it completely off. Those hose clamp pliers are about the only way you're going to do it. I sprayed a little bit of PB Blaster into the hose itself just to lubricate the end. Slip the oil filter housing nipple right into that hose, and then just let go of the pliers. Tighten the bolts down. There's probably a torque spec on these, but I don't really care. Tight is tight, it'll be fine. Gonna clean out these intake ports a little bit. Probably intake manifold a little bit as well. You can see that's pretty nasty. And I'll be back. Clean these ports off a little bit. So with this set, I did get new intake gaskets as well. You got the new lower intake gaskets on. For those that haven't replaced these, they put this little groove, or notch, I should say, in the lower intake. You just take a pick, something like that, just stick it in that notch. Those O-rings pop right out. Kind of makes it a little bit better than trying to dig in there and fish them out. Lower intake back on. Again, who knows what the torque spec is? Don't really care. It's tight. O-ring seals, like you saw in the last little clip, I just replaced all those. These are about the same thing. They got a little groove cut in them. Stick a hook, pop these up. One by one. These honestly really don't need to be replaced, but car, it's over 100,000 miles on it now. I've got them, so basically it's not going to hurt to go ahead and change them out. And new ones, just push them down into their groove. That's all for that. All right, go get the plenum and set that back on top, or plenum or upper intake manifold. So take two on that. Went ahead, get this harness laid back in. There we go. Got both these coil packs down. Remember, I missed kind of a little side job. I went ahead and did the spark plugs while I was in there, which I pretty much recommend anybody do. This plenum is kind of a booger to get off. So then I tighten the coil packs back down. This foam lays some way right on top. I think it's like that. Not real sure. Play around with it, but that has to go back on. Then we can move the intake plenum back over. I'll be back. All right, coil plugs, fuel injectors all plugged back in. Got the foam laying in there. That's how that critter wants to live. Now here we go. The intake manifold plenum. or intake plenum, I should say. I'm trying to get 2 studs made onto this intake plenum down in those little ears. Go ahead and start these nuts. Kind of a pain in the ass, not gonna lie. You see everything kind of falls back into place. And one connector caught. Okay, if you guys can see, this is the other side bracket. 2 nuts off the top. There's a bolt that goes in the back side. That's the easiest way that I found to deal with that thing. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but intake seems to be on there pretty good. You get some bolts in there, I'll be back. There she is, all buttoned up, air piping in place, and the beauty cover done. Not too bad, but not too good either. Thanks guys for watching. Like and subscribe. See you next time.